if this is true, you'll see where we have a core issue in terms of the conversation in the gaming space. Very funny, and I don't know because this is only a screenshot. I can't find a tweet, but I thought this is interesting to highlight. Hasbro Gaming Dragon of Dojima, shout out to you. He got really upset because I think a screenshot of Matt Piscatella talking about Monster Hunter Wilds being the best-selling game of February across each of the PlayStation, Xbox, and ecosystems, with Steam accounting for more than half of the total sales, was rebutted by user Zubitech. This may be photoshopped. I don't know because I couldn't find the tweet. But it said it sold more on PS5, never believing this clown. What's interesting is it's folk like Zubitech that come out and try to basically make themselves, this arbiter of, truth in the gaming space and the gaming conversation. And I told you all that one of the reasons Matt Piscatella left Twitter is because there were a lot of, according to him, people who he thought were idiots that continued to basically, in a sense, I don't know what they were trying to play at, that would not necessarily listen to the truth in front of them. The data will be put in front of them, and many of them will go ahead and deny that data. They'll literally boldface, just pretend like, nothing is going on. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these folk are burned because their so-called exclusives don't come close in terms of sales, in many cases, to these other games of maybe a similar caliber or whatever it is. In fact, if we look at the, weekly active users now, again, which has now basically made its way out here to see what is being played, it's obvious that these games are basically getting, pummeled. In fact, funny enough, Avowed has been sitting on this list for a minute, which is insane. I mean, availability apparently would let people play your game. And what this has caused is a lot of these people have now gathered progress. This is Xbox long-term play to sell these games. Because once you now beat the game, you're now looking and saying, well, or maybe you're far into the game and you look and say, man, maybe I want to own this game so that I can actually say, it's a game that I have. You see the game on sale. What do? You go ahead and say, you know what? Screw it. I'll buy me a copy of Avowed. That's the play that they're trying to go for. If my instincts are correct, it's like a rope type thing. It's like we roped you in. That's exactly what the play is. So we're looking to see Marvel Rivals, NBA 2K25, Minecraft, Dragon Age The Veilguard. Nice. It made its way up there. EA's College Football 25, WWE 2K Monster Hunter Wilds, Rainbow Six, and not one PlayStation game in sight in the top 15. However, you see Xbox games basically making their way in there. In fact, Forza Horizon 5 came up again on the Xbox side. Interesting. It appears that those on Xbox are gearing up, get it, to play with their PlayStation counterparts. In terms of Steam, Monster Hunter Wilds is ranking number 1. So now when we look at this particular data set and you say, somebody put a screenshot of this, you got to ask this account that is showing as Zubitech why they would say that they don't believe the data set that's actually out here in front of them, because it shows that gamers on this platform, whether it be Steam, US, this is how Matt Piscatella is breaking it down now, into US, Canada, and Mexico. Steam Mexico have it at number 2, and Steam US has it at number 1, Steam Canada has it at number 2, and Steam Mexico has it at number 3. It's obvious that across the region, which is the North and Mexican region, in terms of the Americas, are playing pretty much similar games when it comes down to it. That's one thing. But then it shows also that because of the rankings, you can easily make that, assumption, or you can make that deduction anyways, and it'll be correct. So it's very funny. But here's the thing about, so-called Zubitech. If this is true, and I keep prefacing it with that, Zubitech is also cite data from Matt Piscatella at the same time too, where he's seen that it's, in a sense, favored the PlayStation conversation. So him basically making it sound like, this is not true because of A, B, C, D, E, is just him showing his bias. And again, I think this is what's influenced the conversation in terms of gaming. This is why, I'm so happy that more and more a lot of these folk are talking, because I've said this before. Like Nib came out and he made this video, why exclusives are beneficial to consumers. Could not make a good point, could not make a strong point that could not easily be countered. Then he doubled down and insulted the people on Twitter who countered his, views. I'm on YouTube. I made my video on YouTube. And then, he said that, they lack logical thinking and blah, 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 blah. I watched the video up to 6 minutes. I made another 40-minute video, could not find a good argument because he still repeated the same argument, saying, oh, the benefit is that we get these high budget games because of the collective of people who come into the console based on the exclusives, of which some of the highest budget games are not even exclusive, and they still provide quality and more excitement than the exclusives, aka GTA, other games like Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher, some Ubisoft games. Again, this is just a weird non sequitur because now these folk have to now argue in light of the data that's available to all of us. There's nowhere anymore that they can go. You know what I mean? They used to be able to sit down comfortably when there were no data pieces. I guess when there was not a data-centric approach, because this data's been here for a long time. When there weren't really a lot of data pieces, and people could actually point out and say, yo, you're talking about these exclusives, right? But are gamers really interested in these exclusives? Or are they interested in community-based games? So the whole talk about exclusivity already, the rug pull is that, well, first of all, majority of gamers are not really, interested in these exclusive games. That's the first rug pull that you basically see. Second of all of this talk about PlayStation being this particular platform that, gamers are going to buy games and all that stuff, there's a dent put in it because the PC gaming segment is growing like crazy, and PC gamers are pretty much, becoming a freaking horde when it comes down to it. Shout out to audience member Everborn. I was going to make a separate video on this. He sent me this particular, what was it? He sent me a link to this particular data set that showed that PC gaming is growing like crazy. I was going to go ahead and make a video about it, and I'm going to do that here pretty soon. And I was looking at all of that. This is Assassin's Creed just popped up here. I guess he sent me something about Assassin's Creed or whatnot, I guess. And it was just very interesting to see how the article was talking about how the PC gaming platform had grown significantly, even regarding some of the different metrics and data sets, and how it's consistently growing, and how there are more PC gamers than even the console side. So if anybody would even look at those numbers, right? If anybody would even bother looking at what is being said, you realize that it's a no-brainer, right? That the PC market will easily surpass, in terms of some games that PC audiences, resonate with, they'll surpass the PlayStation and the Xbox side in terms of, the number of sales and the people who are playing those games. So the data is readily available, and the data is not backing down for anybody because the numbers are what they are. So anybody can basically, pout and scream and say all kinds of words and insult their way. But your point is not going to move forward simply because they're just numbers that go ahead and just, honestly refute what the heck it is that you're saying. Okay? So let's get out of this particular frame of mind and let's just be very honest. This whole game development thing has basically gone past this conversation of, oh, you're this and you're that. Nah, man, this is the time for us to now actually, behave like adults and be responsible in the things that we say. And I think this level of accountability is going to actually make for a much better gaming conversation overall. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.